Today, we're gonna go over how to do the 360 Steel Mace swing. Here we go. How's everyone? This is Daniel Aipa, and again, today we're gonna go over how to perform the Steel Mace 360 swing. Now, if you're curious about how to start training with the Steel Mace and like wondering what weight to begin with, I made a video a while ago about what's the best way to start off with. But if you don't wanna watch that video, it's cool with me. Really simple, 7 to 10 pounds is great for beginners. So depending on where you wanna start, 7 to 10 pounds. I made a big mistake when I first started training with Steel Mace is that I got a 20 pounder not knowing what exactly I was doing. And I definitely regretted doing that when I did a 360 swing and it hit me in the leg and left a pretty big impression on me. So 10 pounds, again, this is an On-It Steel Mace, 10-pound one. I've been training with this for about, again, close to 5 years now. What I want to teach you is a 360 Steel Mace swing. It's one of the foundational movements of the Steel Mace training. But before we do this, anything with the Steel Mace, you want to make sure that you have proper shoulder mobility. So before we get into the whole swinging around of the Steel Mace and understanding how to go about that, we want to make sure we're able to do it without the Steel Mace. So wait, I'm gonna grab something really quick. Okay, now before you do the Steel Mace, you should be able to do like a halo. You have to have a kettlebell, you have a weighted plate, or you have a dumbbell. A halo is just making a halo around your head and coming back around. If you're unable to do that, what the halo does is shows us that we have good thoracic extension, that we can get into this good posture. Because if you're hunched down like this, if you're hunched over forward and we're going like that, we have a lot of tightness going on. So if this is a good way to just kind of see if we have good thoracic rotation here, or thoracic extension, sorry, rotating around as well, okay? Thoracic extension as well as shoulder mobility, okay? If you have so much tightness in our shoulders, everything's all hunched forward and we're just like that position, and we have a hard time doing this, just imagine doing that with basically a stick with a big heavy metal at the top and going around your body. It's not gonna look pretty or it's not gonna feel very good. So make sure before we even be able to do this 360 swing, make sure you can do it with a halo using a kettlebell, dumbbell, weighted plate, doing that motion, because that's basically the motion you're doing. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start with the 360 swing. Really quick, all we wanna focus on, the top hand, okay, is pointing this way. So if my top hand is this, that's the way that this weight is gonna go, okay? And before we even go over the shoulder, I always tell people first, just get that feeling of the weight going to the side. That's it. Just have that weight go to the side. Again, you have to manipulate how you're using your grip. My left hand is squeezing it, while my right hand is kind of just relaxed, okay? So your forearms are really working on this one, okay? This is just pushing it that way, and this one's guiding it to make sure it doesn't fly too fast, okay? So we're here, just getting that motion going, okay? From there, I tell people, now what I want you to do is just put it behind your head, okay? Put it behind your head and just get a feel for the swing. That's all we're doing, getting feel for the swing. The most common mistake is that people tend to try to muscle this rather than understanding how the weight swings around you and when to apply force and when to release the force and just kind of go along with the ride. Too often, especially like these big guys, they're just trying to really muscle it. They're pushing this around and just kind of throwing it around. There's no swing. They're just kind of rotating around their body behind themselves. And that's not what we want. We want a nice, fluid, boom, nice and fluid, okay? Step one, getting feel for which way that shift of weight goes, okay? Just to have that top hand points to where the Steel Mace is gonna go. From there, we're gonna go into the second phase. Let's put it behind our head and just have that swinging behind us. Swing, okay? Swinging, swinging, there. Next part of it is the shoulder toss. You know, I grew up doing some martial arts like judo, jiu-jitsu, and so forth. So this is kind of the way I viewed it, is that we're doing like a shoulder throw. So as we are here doing this, swinging back and forth, as we get over to our right side, right? Because to finish the 360, all we're doing is doing a shoulder throw. So from here, shoulder throw. Again, from going side to side, from that position is just a shoulder throw. Boom, up, shoulder throw. Those are the three things. So all we're doing is feeling the weight shifting to the side, weight shifting to the side, boom, boom. Next one, they're getting that feeling of the swing behind our head, all right? Oh, my butt, okay? There, side to side. After that, we're gonna go into a shoulder throw. Here, weights, boom, back around. And you'll notice that once you're able to get those pieces segmented, okay, be able to perform it, and then when you get the feeling of it doing all the way around, as such, wow. Mind the cracking, okay? Again, other way, we're gonna go sideways, okay? So remember, top hand points to where the steel mace is gonna go. Top hand, around, top hand, around, top hand, around. Now you see why knowing how to perform the halo is so important. It's because you have to be able to get your shoulders in that position to allow the steel mace to swing behind your body. If we're going around, there. Now another good challenge for as well is to slow it down. So since this is like a 10-pound or a 7-pound, whatever one you want to start off with, always start with a light one. You can really slow down the movement. So if I'm going to go slow motion here, pointing that way, I can really just guide that weight around and then here. Just to kind of feel the weight going around me. Around and then pop. Coming back around the shoulder. And that's what the hardest thing people tend to have is being comfortable with letting go of the steel mace. You cannot hesitate once this thing swings. If you hesitate, it's gonna knock you on your ass. So once you let it go, you have to just go with the flow, all right? So here, let's let it fall, come around, and there. Because what's happening is that once that weight falls into that path, that circular path, it's gonna continue on the path. It's basic physics, right? An object will stay in motion until a force is placed upon it. Okay, so if we're going, the object is continuing this motion, going around, this is the force. Going around and the force is coming around, okay? Object in motion will stay in motion until a force is placed upon it. So too often people end up doing it too soon and then it's more of a jerk. Wait till it gets to the outside. You'd be surprised that at some point it feels weightless. Right there is that weightless feeling. Weightless and it comes around, okay? So I just want to kind of introduce to you this 360 steel mace swing. It's a very basic exercise. You have to have the proper mobility in the shoulders as well as the proper thoracic extension to get into that position. If you have any more questions about steel mace training, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this, found any value in this whole video about a 360 steel mace swings, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and all the cool stuff. So that's Hauka Papa, Aloha, and Ahui Ho. Shoots!